What's going on, guys? Alec here. Hope you're all having an amazing day. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Today I want to briefly explain to you what I did yesterday and who I encountered and my experiences with a Chinese supplier. And what actually happened was I met with a Chinese supplier in my office and we went over a whole bunch of things regarding my product line and a whole bunch of things that I'm launching over the next few months, about 7, 8 products in my pipeline, and really meeting with my supplier for the first time and experiencing firsthand what everything's about, the culture, understanding how they speak, what goes into everything. A lot of the times when we are doing our Alibaba searches and everything online, we're really just relying on messengers and Skype and all these other messenger apps, and we really don't get a good feeling and understanding of what this is all about and who actually is behind that text messaging screen. So I really want to just explain and just open up and explain a few things that I think will really help and benefit you guys in your business when working on your private label business now and in the future, because knowing some of these things can really help you understand and make better judgments, decisions, and really push forward your business and your communications and your future endeavors with your supplier. So hope you guys enjoy this video. So I'm just going to go over a few things and a few things that stood out to me with my Chinese supplier from China, and what I think you guys will really benefit from. So the first thing I want to touch on, and the first thing I took out of this meeting, was these people are real human beings. That sometimes we forget that there are real people on the other side of our phones. We're looking in our phones and we're looking at Skype or the text messaging app on Alibaba, and we forget that there are people behind this device. And sometimes it can be easy to forget that. So I met with this guy, and he was an extremely nice guy, extremely authentic, really had a lot to offer, and he was very helpful. So the first things I want to go over are how helpful these suppliers are. They want your business, guys. And when you talk to them on Alibaba or off Alibaba on Skype or WeChat or whatever you're using, really just be authentic to them. Explain to them what you want to do. They are there to help you and work with you. So if you have certain questions and you're confused about something, ask them. They are there to help you. And if you have certain criteria you want a product to be met, maybe you have changes to be made, tell them, and they will actually go over and above to help you guys, because they want to have your business now and in the future, and they want a solid business. They want orders from you and they want your business. So they don't want you unhappy. So most of them will go out of their way to do as best as possible to meet your expectations. So that's what I'm going to talk about. The second thing I'm going to talk about is the difference between quality in China and range, guys, extremely broadly. So there is a very great level of quality, and there's a very low level of quality. So obviously the cheaper you pay, usually the less quality an item is going to be. So what I really recommend for you guys is when you are sourcing your products on Alibaba, you really don't have to go to China to do this, but it does help if you are in front of another human being and you're talking to them, you see them face to face. They're going to treat you a lot differently than they would on a messaging app, but you don't have to. But you can simulate these types of experiences and really get to know the supplier and figure out if they are a good fit for you guys. So you guys should really message a bunch of suppliers and see which ones are the quickest responders, clear and concise, and that actually sound like they have experience. Because real quick, I want to explain to you guys, there are some suppliers who are only open for a year. Some major factories that have been there for 30 plus years. So the supplier I'm working with has been in this business since he was probably 20 years old. He's 40 now, so he's been in this business for 20 years. And in China, that's quite a bit of time. So he's perfected all his supply chains, all his materials, everything going down to the finite detail is perfect. And so my supplier really, I could see he cared a lot about quality, and he really made it evident to me that there were a lot of different types of qualities in China. So the type of material that I was using was much better than I would find from any other factory, because not only do really well-known brands in the United States use this supplier, and that was some credibility that he gave me. Other suppliers might not have this same type of quality because they're sourcing within China cheaper materials, and they're not really going to tell you that because they just want to save a few pennies here and there, and they're going to assume it's okay with you guys and send you guys whatever they think is all right. So really, I would highly suggest you get samples for your product. It's probably one of the best things to do. If you have 10 samples, it's probably not the cheapest thing, but if you have 10 samples, it's easy to look through and say, okay, this one's not good, this one's not good, this one's great, this one's okay, and see the differences between what actually is good and what's bad. So, I mean, that's just plain and simple what it is. You really want to just make sure that you're getting the proper quality, because in China, quality does range, and this is what my supplier I met with said, and he's been doing this for 20 years, so he's got down all these processes, and in their factory, you guys really don't have to know what goes on, but a lot of the people in China really specialize in different types of manufacturing, so depending on what region you go, that's where they're going to actually specialize in that particular trade. So maybe one region's glass, one region's resin, one region's cloth. So all these different things, you want to make sure you have the best supplier. So I mean, there are a whole bunch of tricks and tips I go over in my course, which will be linked in the description by the time you're watching this, and a whole bunch of tricks and tips to help you guys sort and filter and find these suppliers, and also the proper questions you need to know to ask them in order to make sure you're not stumbling upon a poor quality supplier. Because guys, there are a lot of suppliers out there, and you have to be careful because some of them really are not clear and have a hard time with English, and it can make your life so much harder if your supplier is not really understanding you or understanding what you want. So not only can quality lack, but your communication can lack, and it could lead to tons of frustration because we're not in China, guys. We're in the United States or wherever you are around the world, and if you're not in that factory and you're not telling them what you want, it can really become a problem. So if you know these things up front and you really understand what I'm speaking about in this video, and if you want more in-depth about this, I have this stuff in my course about how to find the best suppliers and pick the best suppliers and really audit them properly, and what to send them in negotiations, stuff like that. You guys can check the course out in the description, but really make sure you understand and you know their goals. Guys, what I really found out from this supplier is if you position yourself as a big corporation that does thousands of units per month and you really are bigger than you actually are, you want to get the best prices. That's obviously the whole goal here. We want to get the best prices as best as possible. So something like a 5,000 or 6,000 MOQ order, we want the price for that. So if we position ourselves as a bigger company who is just starting out and we're just looking for a test order, and eventually we will build up to that, they are much more likely to agree with you and come to an agreement because they want your business, guys. China, they are very hungry people. They will really work for pretty cheap, and they want your business. They want your long-term business, and they want you to see you succeed. And in turn, you're giving them business too. So it's a real win-win situation. And this guy was extremely authentic. Like I said, he was just a really nice guy. You really wouldn't understand that until you sat down with one of these suppliers and you understood there's much more than just a message on a screen when you're speaking to these suppliers. So, you know, they do the same things we are. They're human beings. So really be authentic, talk to them, build a relationship with them. And if you're going to move on with them, you want to build a relationship. You know, sometimes some of these suppliers, they'll text you and say happy holidays, happy birthday. So they really want to become your friend. They want to know you for the long term, and they want your business. So even many of these suppliers are willing to drop their MOQ and their prices for you as a first-time buyer because they want your loyalty and they want to have your business for the long term. So it's really amazing to be able to reach out to these people from on the other side of the world. And before Alibaba or anything, it was extremely hard to do this. You really had to go to China and go to something like the Canton Fair, and it was a lot difficult. But with the power of Alibaba, you could be sitting in your house and you could do all this and figure out and audit suppliers without having to go to China. So I really wanted to make this video for you guys today and share my experience with my meeting with my supplier. I think it will really help you guys a ton and really bring some and shed some light upon the supplier and Alibaba and the manufacturers in China and what their goals are, what they are about, and hopefully this guy's really helped you guys. And if it did, please leave a comment below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I'm putting out tons of videos like this about private label and living the laptop lifestyle. Really what this channel is about is creating a passive income, enough where you can replace your 9-to-5 income and live the life that you want and the life of your dreams, and live in freedom and financial freedom by using the power of Amazon to really just explode your income and create profitable products that you could put into a brand and really build further than you could ever imagine. So if you guys enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.